This is WFO Radio.
Welcome, everybody, to Licensed Drag. We are here live in full effect. No one's watching yet. What is going on? What's happening out there? There we go. People are joining now.
There you go. Good. It's right on time.
Perfect. Elin, you are not in your normal studio. Where are you going, man?
I'm not. I'm in Lawton, Oklahoma. My son just graduated from Marine Artillery School, so he's a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps. So they just wrapped up his graduation ceremony, and now we're headed to a celebratory lunch of Mexican food in Lawton, Oklahoma.
I love it. Well, congratulations.
I'm not driving. My wife is chauffeuring. In our new Ford Explorer, that this is just the second time she's ever been behind the wheel.
Uh-oh.
So this could make for an exciting Life's a Drag.
Well, listen, if your wife and everybody else in the car would like to chime in, feel free. Well, they probably can't hear.
They're only going to get my half of the conversation.
There you go.
No one really wants to hear from me because we have a special guest.
We do. We do indeed. We have event winner from Reading, and we're going to get into everything Reading. And if you're on this thing, you come in, like, share, do the whole thing, Henry. Thank you for being the first one in. But yeah, like, share. But we have our event winner, Pro Stock Motorcycle winner, John Hall. There he is, everybody. Say hello to John Hall.
Hello, John Hall.
Hey, guys.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, coming off my first countdown win, and it's the first countdown race of the season, and feels good to be this high in the points. I think we're tied with Gage for second right now.
Yeah, John, do you feel like, I mean, you won Norwalk, but like this whole season, so much focus has been on Gage, Matt, Richard Gadsden, that you've been able to just slide in here and kind of first race the countdown, you announce your presence with authority.
Yeah, you know, it feels good to be so. And in Indy, I was physically sick. I didn't feel well. I had like a head cold. I couldn't get to the other end of the racetrack. Like I think I made like 2 clean runs all weekend. I was terrible. I felt terrible. And I really wanted to come out here and redeem myself and show that I can be, you know, consistent and pull through for the team. Because, you know, MSR, they do so much work behind the scenes to get these bikes ready, and you want to, you know, I have a fast bike and you want to make the best of it and you want to perform, and they gave me a fast bike and I want to feel like I'm doing my part, and I didn't feel like I did my part in Indy, and I came out here and we started off with a new tire. You know, Angie was telling me all weekend, "John, you have to break up with that tire. We had to take it off at some point." And you know, me and that tire were in a committed relationship, you know, and we want to stay together. And she's like, but it's got a lot of laps on it, has to come off. So we tried to break a tire in, and then Matt said, if that tire doesn't come in Q4, we're going to put the other one back on for E1. And we put that tire on, and we went 480s in a row. We went right back to where we were. And so I proved that I could be consistent, and I could pull through for the team when they give me the bike to win. And I feel like we accomplished what we were supposed to accomplish.
Educate me on tires real quick, because Gage apparently has a lucky tire. Other guys have lucky tires. What is it? I'm assuming it's the front tire.
No.
But it's the back one.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the back tire is so special?
Well, sometimes you just get a tire that works really well, and they're all different. And sometimes you get like Matt said, he goes, this tire, if this new tire doesn't come in Charlotte, it's just a bad tire. It's just not going to come in. It's not going to work. And we'll give it another shot. But the tire affects your 60-foot time, which affects your whole run. And we just kept spinning the tire in the top of first. And it just wasn't coming in. So we weren't confident going in Sunday with that tire on there, because it was getting better, but it wasn't good enough that you'd want to go in first round and take a chance. So we put the other tire back on. It has a lot of laps on it, and they have a lifespan, but it still works. And I'm going to give the other tire a shot, and we'll see if we can get it to come around. If not, you know, it's a terrible time of the season to start changing things, but you have to at some point when you get a certain amount of laps on a tire. It's not going to last forever.
Yeah, before we came on, I said, I go, you kind of upset the apple cart there. Yeah, like nobody held form, but I mean, like you said, you're tied with Gage, so you really didn't upset the apple cart. You're in this mix, and like none of the favorites, like Gage, Matt, they didn't win. Dallas is the only one that top of the points list. He won. You got Cruz winning. You got it's like Sean Reed winning. It's like, what's going on? But like you said, this is the countdown. And this is when things get serious, and we kind of want to go to the wire, don't we?
Yeah, we want it to come down to the wire, especially for the fans. That's what they want to see, and that's why they created this countdown, so nobody runs away with it, and they make it interesting to the end. And I hope we're all there to make it interesting to the end.
What's been the best part of that Matt Smith Racing dynamic for you, John? Obviously Matt and Angie are so accomplished, but how did you wind up there versus Vance and Hines or White Alligator or out on your own?
Well, I definitely don't want to be on my own. I have a job. I don't need another one. It's a lot of work, and I figure, stick to the people. Matt Smith is good at what he does.
Right.
And Angie Smith, they're good at what they do, and they're good at controlled chaos with 4 bikes. And we all mesh really well together. We all get along, and 90% of drag racing is downtime. So you have to surround yourself with people. I tell everybody this: surround yourself with people you like, because you're going to spend a lot of time with them. And we do spend a lot of time together. We do stuff outside of racing together, and we all get along great. And have great teammates, Matt, Angie, and Gianna. And we have a great crew with Michael, Boo, Devin, Brandon, everybody on the team, Cookie Man. We have we just all mesh well together. And I could have went to Vance and Hines, and I could have went to War, and Angie called me last year, and they put a deal together, and I was kind of going to be done after, I think, 2023. And Angie was always, you got to come back. So I ended up going back, and Lisa from Denzo helped me last year. And that was a great help. And then this year I came on with my friend Andy Ross and American Rebel Light, along with Denzo and Doug Herbert and Brakes. That's not something I get any funding from. I want to do the best I can to represent Doug and his mission. And we're going to do something in Charlotte, I hope, to do that. And it just worked out. Like I said, I was almost done after 2023. I'm like, I did enough. I won 2 races. Maybe it's time to move on. And thankfully, Matt and Angie drugged me back in, and here I am with 2 more wins.
Let me ask you this question. So after you win this big race, talk about your support staff. Everybody, like your friends, your family, Andy Ross, everybody was there. How happy were they when they saw with their own 2 eyes you win that race?
So nobody saw it with their own 2 eyes. Andy Ross was there. He drove with me from Connecticut, and I got a text from him Saturday morning. Hey man, I had an opportunity to play with a band. I took a flight out this morning. My wife, my daughter, and my nephew were there. They left after first round, which I still don't understand. So yeah, I called Andy on the way home. I'm like, he didn't even know. I'm like, what you guys like? How do you not know? It's like 8:00 at night. Like this was like 4 hours ago. He had no idea. And my wife and my daughter and my nephew, I have a 4-year-old nephew, and they said he has to go to school. But I'm thinking, what the hell is he at 4 years old? All they do is hang around with their friends in school. This would be way cooler to miss, school for this. But you know what? I'm not the boss when it comes to that stuff. So I would have stayed if I were them. But you know what? They had different plans, and maybe I'm such an underdog that they didn't think I was going to win, and they were like, we'll just leave. So I think I shocked a lot of people, and I don't know why. I'm such an underdog, but I guess I'm maybe not now. I'm not as much of an underdog, but I think I was going into that race. I didn't perform well, like I said, in Indy. Everybody knew I had a new tire on the bike. People pay attention in this class, and they see what you do. And then I think they also noticed that we put the old tire back on there on Sunday before first round, and probably knew that we were going to be a little faster, and we were. And we were. I'm just proud of this team and how consistent we were in those 4 rounds.
Yeah, when I heard the fact that everybody left you, I was like, oh man, I feel bad. But Lisa, the
Lisa was there. Lisa was there. Yes.
And when you and Matt made it into the finals, I've never seen Angie jump higher. She was like so excited that it was going to be a win for Denzo either way. And it's just fun watching you guys do your thing.
Yeah, it was a Denzo win, no matter what. We knew it was going to be, so they take the flag up there. And the worst thing you can do is have to put that flag away if you lose. So we didn't have to. We knew that flag was staying out. That Denzo flag was going to be waving no matter what. But the American Rebel Light Denzo bike, thankfully, made it to the finish line first. Matt had some problems. He blew up. As soon as we came off the track, he said, "I was about to go around you, but I blew up." So I think he was on a good pass. But whether he was going to come around me or not, well, I guess we'll never know. But either way, it was a great win for us.
I love the Denzo flag. And is there a hierarchy of who gets to carry the flag? Like if it's Matt racing, I feel like I see Angie or Matt's holding it, for her. But is there like a hierarchy of who gets to hold the flag, or is there a lucky person with the flag?
Not that I know of. We've never had that conversation. I've never really noticed who waves the flag. I think it's just the fact that we're able to go up there with the flag is an accomplishment in itself.
For sure.
Well, I asked Lisa when I saw her. I was walking back to my little stage, and I was like, "I go, did you bring the flag?" And she goes, "It's around here somewhere. I don't know." And then she got all panicked because she didn't know where it was. And then they had it on one of the pit bikes, so it was pretty funny.
Yeah, so we knew that flag wasn't going to have to go back in the bag if one of us lost, because it was a win. It was a win-win for Denzo.
Yeah.
I love it.
So how do you feel about going 4-wide racing here in a couple of days, John, in the countdown?
I feel good about it. I don't mind the 4-wide. I think it's going to make it interesting. Some people are good at it. Some people are better at it than others. And I've screwed up at the 4-wide before, so I hopefully got that out of my system, and go out there and perform like we did at in Reading.
Well, that's going to be awesome. We look forward to seeing you this weekend. John, we're not going to keep you too long. I know, like you said, you got a job, man. So thanks for coming on and being like, was Erica on after she won her first or 50th?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, all right, you're our second event winner that we've had on.
Yeah, we got a string of event winners going here. So good luck, John, and we'll see you here in a couple of days.
Thank you, guys. See you in a couple of days.
Thank you, buddy. All right, there we go, John Hall. I was not paying attention to him being tied for second in points. That's on me.
It's now like Matt, Gage, and John, and then Richard, but they're separated by like 30 points, maybe. I mean, it is super tight. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun. So welcome everybody to Life's a Drag. Like, share. Elon is on the road. He's in Oklahoma. His kid just graduated from artillery school. That's awesome.
Yep. And it was a really cool ceremony. There was like 17 Marines that graduated. But now I'm going to Charlotte for the race, and then flying home from Charlotte on Sunday night. Then we're getting in his Explorer, driving to Camp Lejeune to help move him in at Camp Lejeune, and then I fly from there straight to St. Louis.
That's a fun one. That there is a fun one. I had my kid was in the Navy, and he, hey Dad, will you drive me from Pensacola all the way to Norfolk? That was a fun one. Yeah, but it was good time to hang out with the kid and have some fun. So it'll be a fun trip to move to Camp Lejeune.
Yeah, but Reading, I mean, how insane was that race?
All right, let's start from the very beginning.
Let's get serious.
Indy's bad. Indy's always bad because you got an extra day, whatever, and there's 1,000 things going on. I felt like Reading was worse this week.
Yeah,
like work-wise, just like running around. So like we said last week, we told you there was going to be a million announcements, and there's going to be a million more announcements to come, right? We told you all this stuff was happening.
Yeah.
So Brittany Force stepping out of the seat. Let's just go through the announcements, right?
Yes.
Josh Hart sold his stuff
to Richard Freeman.
Which can only speculate the marketing merger between Tony Stewart and Elite. Can only speculate. Oh, what's going to happen now?
What's that going to mean? What's Josh going to do?
Right. What's Force going to do with having a car?
Yeah. So it's just going to be bonkers. But then the race gets started, and then all hell breaks loose.
It was nuts. Nuts.
Which, like you said, Cruz wins, John Hall wins,
Sean Reed
wins. Dallas was the only one that held form. I mean, how cool was it to see Sean Reed win?
That was very cool. And, I know we don't really talk that much about IHRA, but he even said it was a test session that he went to at IHRA, a test session that he actually won. I don't know, but that's just me. I thought that was interesting.
A test session that paid him $50,000. That's pretty good.
Right. Yeah, that's
good. Pretty good.
So, but like I read that was like he was like only the second person to win an IHRA and an NHRA race back to back. Yeah.
And it was wild that he barely beat Doug Kalitta, and the fact that Doug Kalitta was racing in the final after his incident with Tony Stewart.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone has seen that wreck by now, and that was absolutely nuts. That was crazy, and the fact that and I hate to say this is probably too much inside baseball, but we were having dinner in Philadelphia that night on Sunday night. We all were at the hotel, and we were like, why did they interview Tony Stewart at the top end?
Yeah,
I mean, the guy was knocked out, and I guess they all, he was checked out, and Doc Surface said he was good, but when Tony's like,
hey,
I don't even remember it. I was knocked out.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I was, when I came to, and then he was like, well, how do you feel? Well, I got a headache and I'm really sore and I don't remember anything. Well, okay, that sounds like, but then he's right there, like every athlete on the planet. I'll be racing in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put me in, coach.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He was like the Black Knight from Monty Python, Holy Grail.
Yes.
It's just a flesh wound. Okay, it's just a flesh wound. Nothing to see here.
Listen, we are so great with old references, but man, that's a good one. Anytime you reference Monty Python is fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the whole thing with Tony Stewart. But I don't understand how you get back in a car after that bad of a wreck, and then trying to figure out, all right, I got to go run 340 miles an hour again.
Somebody, I don't know where I saw it, but somebody just basically referred to Doug Kalitta as just a stone cold assassin.
Yeah.
That basically he has ice water running through his veins. And that Kalitta team, holy balls. To get that dragster, get a new dragster back together.
Right.
That, gets, kudos to those guys. They've done that for JR's car. They've done it for Sean. They've done it for Doug. Chad Head has that team totally on point. The crew chiefs and the car chiefs for all those teams, amazing. And then just Doug, just after that incident, to just get back in there and be like, oh yeah, we're just going to keep racing.
Yeah, we're just going. Let's keep going.
Nothing to see here.
It was man. Well, let's talk about. Let's just totally switch topics because there's so much stuff going on. There's so speaking of the Kalitta guys, J.R. Todd posted on social media on Sunday. You announcer suck, pretty much. I'm like, well, who's he talking about? I know him and Joe have had a pass. And Joe kind of asked the question at pre-race. That really wasn't that bad, and it was just like he goes, "I'm going to ask him the same question."
It was the most entertaining part of pre-race, which is exactly the marquee matchup. It's JR and Ron Capps.
Right.
And Joe just basically, JR standing closest to Joe. So Joe's just like, okay, one of you guys is going to lose.
Right.
How first race the countdown, how much pressure does that put on you? And like Michael Jordan in Last Dance, JR took that personally.
Yeah.
And just was like, hey man, why are you picking on me when Joe's just stating facts?
Yeah.
In drag racing, 2 go in, 1 comes out.
I don't think that comment was for Joe. I think that comment was someplace else.
Joe, I heard that Joe did, because Joe's kind of guy like, hey, if I hear somebody, if I've wronged someone, I want to address it. And I think he asked JR were you talking about me? And JR was kind of like, I was talking about everybody. So you, Tony, Loans, Bruno, everybody. Everyone's catching strays from JR.
Well,
that's the countdown. That's the countdown, man. I don't hold it against JR. The pressure these guys are under and to draw caps in the first round, that just stinks.
I walked up to Mario Todd and I said, hey, man, your son better keep my name out of his mouth or we have a problem. And he starts laughing. And I go, man, I hope he says something. I mean, there can't be. I'm playing his music. That's all I'm doing for him. Can't be me. But I think it has something. I think JR was trying to walk that back a little bit, and then because I heard some other stuff, but whatever. I can't say all that out loud.
So driver intros. Speaking of that, totally different vibe behind the stage.
Oh, I bet. Agree? Oh man, yeah.
It was like Indy, yucking it up. It's the U.S. Nationals. Yeah, we all want to have a good time, kind of whatever. Reading, no one was talking to anybody. They're all just kind of standing there. I mean, they're standing with their buddies, but there's no tomfoolery. They were like, God dang it, man, we got 6 races. Yeah. And there were some tough matchups.
It was literally crazy on Sunday. All right, so we also had timing issues on Friday. We had multiple. I mean, Matt Hagan losing his mind on TV after his car blew up,
and then doubling down with the standalone video.
Right.
Yeah, I was totally so. He blows up. He's always had an issue with tethers.
Right.
That's a whole. You're either pro tether, anti tether, whatever. I've been there when bodies like Robert Hight threw his whole body into the grandstands of Charlotte. Luckily, nobody got hurt. I was there when Robert shot his body into the scoreboard in St. Louis. Luckily, nobody got hurt.
I was there for that one. That was good.
I think the NHRA is just like, we've dodged a couple bullets. But I see Hagan's point, and he gets out the top end and goes on a little mini rant. So then when I see, like, the next day, hey, this is Matt Hagan, I want to talk about my comments from yesterday. I was fully expecting an apology. Like the NHRA had gotten to him and said, here's a $50,000 fine, and you're going to need to publicly apologize for what you said. No, he just took all the chips on the table, pulled more chips out of his pocket, and just pushed them all into the middle of the table. Yeah. Just like, but he, he had receipts. He went down the punch list, and he's not wrong, I don't think.
No. Yeah, drag racing mayhim, 100%.
Two things can be correct. 2 things can be true at the same time. We need to keep the bodies out of the grandstands, and we need to keep the bodies off the drivers. Correct. Where's the medium in there?
Yeah.
And, I agree with Matt's point of, hey, they understand they're race car drivers. They're doing dangerous things.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't negate the fact that, okay, we're going to make it as dangerous as possible for these guys. Because the same thing happened to Buddy. It's happened to Dan Wilkerson. It's happened to John Force. Mm-hmm. They something needs to be, figured out. If we can fix the rear end issue in 1 year, surely we can fix this funny car body issue.
Dude, you can't even fill up one hand the amount of times the bodies went into the grandstand, so there's not enough data for such stringent. Yeah, gotcha on that one.
But to that deal, I mean, when you watch the video of Robert Hight's body flying into the grandstands in Charlotte, whatever year that was,
yeah,
and it just by a miracle it lands on that concourse level. I mean,
well, that happened in St. Louis as well.
Yeah,
it hit the scoreboard.
Went right into the motorhome area.
Yeah,
So
I was like, dude, that was scary.
Yeah. And in Gainesville that same year, Robert and Matt blew their bodies off at the top end of Gainesville, and they both just shot about 200 feet in the air. There's just nobody down there at the finish line. So
right. I don't understand, like in Reading on the right side where I was going towards the TV compound, they've got like an open grassy area where people were just putting tents and stuff.
Yep.
It's probably right at 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm sitting down there.
No.
And they're pretty close. And I'm like, they're right by this. I mean, they're like maybe 900, 1,000 feet. Those things are at full song, and that's where they're going to blow up if something happens.
Yeah. Same deal with Brainerd. They've just kind of let the fans kind of creep into that area, and no bueno. I don't go on the starting line unless I have to, and there's no way I'm down there by the scoreboards. It's just
I'm on the starting line. It drives me nuts. I can't. Yeah. I get nervous every time.
But so you had Hagen's rant. You had opening ceremonies. Now let's talk a little bit about snacky snack food. We had Kim's Bakery. I got some treats for the press room.
Tremendous treats.
And they were so good. And then there's the buffet. Shady maple smorgasbord. I went for the first time with Jim Dunn Racing, and it was a who's who of drag racers in there on Thursday night. All the Pro Stock motorcycle guys were in there. Matt Smith,
they should be putting their feedback on.
I was shocked. I called them out. I was like, "What are you doing here? I heard you guys don't eat anything but broccoli." And they said, they go every year, and this is like the one time they actually eat whatever they want, like a year. Like that's it. But that place was amazing. Have you been?
Yeah, of course. It's the world's largest buffet.
I'd never been, and I didn't even hear about it until last year.
Oh yeah, no, it's a staple.
It's a wild scene because I kind of walked the buffet line, which was the longest buffet line I'd ever seen.
Right.
And then I got a couple little items, and then as I was walking back, I see a guy with a steak, and I sit down and I asked John Dunn, I was like, "Hey man, I saw a guy with a steak. Where are their steaks?" And he's like, "Oh, there's a whole grill section off to the side."
Right.
Where they're doing steaks and Philly cheesesteaks and hamburgers and sausages. And so I went back for that.
Of course you did. What about the desserts? The desserts are crazy in that place.
Desserts were crazy. I only had one piece of cherry pie. That was it. But
it was good cherry pie, wasn't it?
It was really good. And they had every kind of fruit pie, every kind of chocolate cake, pies, cobblers, ice cream station with all the toppings, anything you think of. And as I was about to leave, I was kind of walking out of the area, and I saw they had a soft ice cream machine with like 6 flavors. And then the fountain machine was right there, and I just saw root beer. And I saw root beer and vanilla ice cream, and I realized I have all the ingredients I need for a root beer float.
Yep. It's so good. That place is so good.
So I made a root beer float, and then I go back to the table, and Jim Dunn, 91-year-old Jim Dunn, is sitting across from me, and he's like, "What do you got there?" And I go, "I made myself a root beer float." And he goes, "That's my favorite dessert." And then we proceeded to have a 10-minute conversation about root beer floats.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah. He knew like the original A&W root beer guys. So I think he used to get like fresh root beer and then like homemade ice cream and make when he was doing Funny Car Summer. Can you imagine? So he was like, I love root beer floats. That's my one. And I was just like, this is the most insane conversation to have with a Funny Car legend about root beer floats.
That's the best thing about food and music. It brings everyone together.
Yeah, it
doesn't matter. I had one of the best steaks I've had all season out there in Wyomissing at Willoughby's. It was fantastic. And we were talking about just the whole steakhouse experience, how much we enjoy that. And I was like 3 dirty martinis in, and I'm like, oh, this is the whole reason why I go to a steakhouse. So you get a dirty martini with blue cheese olives, a beautiful steak. So great.
Yeah. So that's funny you mentioned that, because there's actually steakhouse talk in Lawton, Oklahoma last night. That one of the other parents was like, wanted to take some of the soon-to-be graduates, like, hey, let me take you to a really nice steakhouse for a celebratory dinner. And they're like, there's not a really nice steakhouse in Lawton, Oklahoma. We have an Outback.
Right.
And it's a little shaky. We there's two Walmarts in Lawton, Oklahoma, and Nick was like, there's a good one and a bad one. And we got an Airbnb, so we didn't know. And apparently we went to the bad one because it was hands down the best people watching.
Oh, I bet.
So many low riding pajama pants, just everything you wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part about a military base. You get a little bit of everything.
Yep. And these racing towns aren't too far. We saw so many Amish and Mennonite people in Reading. And then we talked to some of the people from the track and asked them, because there's that hill, and Amish people watch the races from the top of the hill, and we're always not sure if they're praying for us or if they're just shocked by what they see.
Right. They're like, what is this?
And the track people were like, the track people were like, no, they really kind of dig it. And I was like, have you ever thought about bringing a couple of them down and drag racing, a couple of the carriages? And they're like, well, they're getting better relationships with the local people. So that could be in our future.
That could be good. As I was driving in, you had made the comment that the houses and the barns are right on the streets.
Oh, yeah.
The corners of it. I almost hit one coming through. I was like, oh my God, that thing is right there. It was, not 6 inches off the pavement.
Yeah. And I kept my streak alive every day. We went to the track on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. And every time Siri told me a different way to get there, and every time Siri told me a different way to get back.
Yeah. Yeah, I just memorized one way, and I was like, okay, I figured this out. Here we go.
We came in the back way. We came in the side way. I was bringing Mike Neff back from filming Talking Funny Cars with Buddy Hall on Friday, and it took me to basically a dead end way, but I could still see the track. And Neff was like, I just thought you knew where you were going. And I was like, no, I'm just following Siri, man. It was like The Office. If that Siri would have told me to drive into a lake, I would have just driven right into a lake.
That's great. Should we talk about the Tony Pedregon and Erica Enders thing?
Yes.
Right. Who do you think won in that one? Let's start right there.
I think Erica did. I have some hot sports opinions on that, in that, Tony is an analyst, but there's a difference between an analyst and an opinion maker.
Correct.
You're editorializing. And he jumps back and forth across that line a couple times.
I walked up because that was going on right as the Brittany Force announcement was happening. And I walked out because I had to be at the stage and of the Brittany Force thing. And I walked over there, and Courtney was like, oh my God, it's getting ready to happen. And I'm like, what? So I'm like right by the speaker, and I'm watching it. And she goes, he's going to ask him about this. She's already prepared. And I'm like, okay, so at least we knew something was going to happen. Man,
yeah.
I was uncomfortable for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It was great, but I applaud Erica for not backing down.
Yeah.
And it is something that's been around our sport, but every team has had, it's why you have multi-car teams. You have lead horses and you have support horses.
Correct.
But the thing that irritated me is how it just kind of lingered over into the weekend. That Bruno asked Erica about it after first round, I think. And then, so she she just said what she said. And then they go back to the booth, and Brian and Tony are doing the broadcast, and like Shane Tucker and Brandon Miller are rolling up to run. And Tony's just talking about his beef with Erica on top, and not even talking about Shane Tucker and Brandon Miller, two guys who are out here trying to race. If I was them, I'd be really pissed. I'm out here racing, and you're not mentioning me. You're talking about some beef you have with a driver. That's not being an analyst. You're not doing your job there.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
listen, I have all the Tony should have asked the question.
Yeah,
Hey, this is what's going on the
totally
internet.
fair.
Here's what's happening. Give us your take on what's happening. And Erica could have just gone on with it and just left it, but they brought their beef into it. And for 5 minutes, those two were going at it. And then I thought Brian Loans was going to do the right thing, and like, all right, let's change the subject. All right, we got you. No, he doubled down.
It's so great. I love.
I was
Loans
like,
'cause he's like,
here
no.
we go.
He's got like that old school fan that you see in the fireplaces that are just you know, and also throwing tech under the bus. We don't need that, but you know, but we're living in such a great time because I do think Loans and Tony do a really good job when they're talking about the racing.
I do too.
And that's why we need more programming. That's why we need more opportunity for these guys to talk and to confront each other and air things out than just the broadcast. I mean, this is the stuff that should be happening in the NHRA Today TV show, and then we do the race, and then it comes back in the post-race TV show. You know, so the race is the race, and then all this other stuff is the shoulder programming, but we don't have that, so it has to get crammed into the race show. You know,
I agree.
It's they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because again, if they just let it slide, then people are just going to MF them for, you guys don't have any balls, you're just letting this stuff slide and all that stuff. So, you know, it was made for great TV, but unfortunately, just some, you know, Shane Tucker and Brandon Miller caught some strays by not getting publicized.
Right.
You know, Tony and Erica are catching strays for people that were Team Tony and people that were Team Erica.
Right.
But just so great. And I love the fact that Erica didn't back down and our drivers don't back down. Like Hagen's not backing down on tethers.
Right.
Erica's not backing down on team orders. And, you know, there's going to be other things I think that are going to come up during this countdown that it's just going to continue to get more spicy and more spicy. And I'm here for it.
Well, and let's. I mean, I not to throw more gas on the fire, but you know, John Hall's second in the points. Where's Matt? You know, does Matt really? You know, will Matt be okay if John Hall wins his wins his first championship and Matt doesn't get his seventh? And if those two come down to the wire in Pomona, I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I bet you'll see a Greg Anderson, Dallas Glenn type situation. Because the one thing those motorcycle guys do, even Gage and Richard and Braden Daniels or Davis and those guys, I mean, they just want to race. Daddy, I just want to go fast. So, because they don't have millions and millions of dollars on the line.
Right.
You know, they can afford to be just out there racing. It's the nitro teams that I think get put in a sticky spot when you've got corporate sponsors, global businesses. You can't have the appearance of these things, and that's where it gets dicey, you know.
Yeah, and plus now that we've got Play NHRA and all that stuff, you know, you can't be messing around.
You can't be messing around with that. So I will say that John Hall with Drag Race Bracket Bonanza is moving away from being a bracket buster to now being a guy that people watch. Like before, nobody would pick him, but now you're seeing like he's getting 5%, 7%. You know, and we can kind of see those trends on Drag Race Bracket Bonanza of like, you know, Cruz will jump up this weekend in Charlotte because he won. John Hall will jump up, and they just kind of eat into the favorites. You know, when we get a report right after everyone's picked for first round, like a nice little pie chart that we share. So. Almost a record weekend for Drag Race Bracket Bonanza in Reading also. Like,
I did terrible. Once again, my first rounds, everybody was good, but then second round, I lost my mind. So
that's where it gets tricky. And that's where it's so fun is that just how many people, when Cruz started winning, you know, when Spencer Hyde lost, a lot of people went out on that. When Austin lost, I mean, I think every JFR car lost in the second round. I mean, I think the only time that's happened is like one other time this year. Gage Herrera going out in the second round, you know, and I talked to Richard Gadsden. He was beating himself up a little bit about not being able to make more hay with that. He had a part break on his car Like he blew up an engine that messed up his clutch, and then they had to rebuild the clutch, and then racing stuff. Just
Yeah. Just racing stuff. That's what happens.
Racing stuff.
All right, Elon. Well, I'm going to let you go because you have
best.
lunch to eat. You have lunch to eat.
We'll
Elon's going to go
We'll
celebrate.
be back next Wednesday live. And that was my deal. I appreciate you guys giving me some grace, but I wanted to do the show at noon Eastern to just make sure we kept, because we appreciate the listeners tuning in and taking the time. So we will be live next Wednesday as well.
Yep, we're going to show some commercials here. I'm coming back. I got something. I got more stuff to talk about. The things that Elon missed on the back end of one day. All right, Later. Elon. Thanks, man. Congratulations to your son.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com. The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
All right, our favorite commercial. Anyways, all right, so a couple things before we leave here, and I'll answer questions if you want me to. If you want my personal opinion on things, feel free. We had a WFO meetup at Hot Rod Randy's trailer. I guess it was Saturday night. I got to meet some people. Monica was there. AJ was there. AJ was wearing his Life's a Drag t-shirt. Thank you, AJ, for being the man. See, Monica says he was so happy to meet you. And there you go. It's awesome. It was good to see people. We kind of commandeered Tony Schumacher. He got to be part of the whole thing, but it was fun. Fast Eddie was there. And, so it was cool to meet the fans. See, Fast Eddie was there. Come on. So it was good to meet the fans. Joe's like, you got to come, man. You've been requested, man. Like, Joe, last thing I want to do is be here talking to more people. No, I'm just joking. Days are long, man. We got to get in and get out. And Joe at dinner on Sunday night comes up and he's like, hey, man, you were talking to some fans wanted to say hi to you at Winner's Circle. And you said hi and then just walked right past them. I'm like, Joe, I wasn't even at Winner's Circle. I was on my way to Philadelphia. I think people might have their, people mixed up. I don't know, man. Not me. He goes, no, man. They said it was you. I'm like, Joe, come on, man. It wasn't me. I wouldn't do that. Monica, I would go to all the WFO meetups, but I know there's this thing called social media, and guess what? Sometimes I don't jack. But I will make it a definite, I'll make it my mission in life to go to all the WFO meetups if Joe tells me about them. Because, it's fun to go out and say hi to everybody. But, crazy, crazy weekend. And, it was just fun. Beer guy, dude, are you going to be there this weekend? Always need a DJ. Always need a co-DJ. Feel free to come over and say hello. It's going to it'll be fun. 4 wides in the countdown. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know. first time for everything. We'll see how everything goes. It should be a good weekend, though. Beer Guy's going to be there. That's what I'm talking about. How this guy got famous like in 2 seconds. I love you, Beer Guy. I needed to do that. I keep threatening I'm going to go full Bert Kreischer and take my shirt off and DJ on the stand with my shirt off. Doesn't get a lot of people saying, yeah, man, that sounds like awesome plan. Let's do that. But, it doesn't happen. And Hannah and her Hannah Cabana would rather me not do that. So sometimes I listen to her. Sometimes I don't. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all we got going on. So, anybody got any pressing questions? Let's do it Friday night. Hey, I'm there Friday night. Come on, man. I might be in the booth on first round Friday. I don't know. We don't have anybody running the show. And I think my boss kind of said, hey, maybe we'll throw you in there. I think Galvin's like, no, we're fine. We don't need him in there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on this weekend. Charlotte's always a fun weekend. I'm Hannah as well on the Nitro Alley stage. We're gonna have all kinds of Spider-Man. Larry McBride will be there on the stage. You can come see him. A lot of good programming. I think we're gonna do life lessons with Buddy Hull. So if you got a kid or somebody who doesn't understand life lessons, I'm gonna ask Buddy questions that he's got a small boy that he needs to teach, and he will teach, and he's a good motivated person. And if you've never spent time with Buddy Hull, you need to find time to spend with Buddy Hull because he's fantastic. But we were talking in Reading, and he was telling me a story about things that he's done to help underprivileged kids and at-risk youth. And I'm like, dude, we're doing life lessons with Buddy Hull because I got fired up just talking to him. So that's going to be on the stage, I think Saturday, maybe on the stage. I don't think Buddy is back in the car this week. Beer Guy. I don't think so. I was asking him when he was going to get back in the car, and he said, man, his hand just hurts. I can't do a lot of stuff with it right now. So it's a little different deal than Sean Reed, but yeah, he can't do his hand very well. It's like he was showing me he can't stretch his fingers out. So I don't know when he's going to be back in the car, but he'll be there. He's still got a vested interest in that car. So, there you go. I'm not playing a show. Boom. Oh, look who just decided to show up. Everyone's in their car today. There's Joe Costello.
I'm not in my car. I'm in a rental car.
What kind did you get?
It's a Ford Bronco. I'm trying the Ford Bronco Experience.
The little one?
Is there a big one?
Yeah, well, there's
the little one, the new one, the new Ford Bronco.
Not a fan.
I spent so much time with Tasca at the Yes program. I figure I should try the Bronco. See what's what.
I really hope you tell him your honest opinion about it when you see him.
I always give my honest opinion.
I know, but I can't wait to see how he feels about that honest opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do, right? It's not about making people happy. It's about telling them the truth.
And that's what we were talking about on the show earlier, Joe, about you asking questions.
Yeah, like what?
Like a pre-race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not fully convinced that it was my question either.
I don't think it was, Joe.
Well, I think it's partly because he could have told me no, too. And I asked him, once upon a time, people may recall this, we had an incident in the past. It was also at Reading. It was also as related to the start of the countdown. Everybody gets very upset at the start of the countdown. And it was a miscommunication, right? So here we are again. I'm not really thinking about it.
Yeah, no, it's something we'll dismiss that one. Like, okay, JR's had a bad day.
It's no big deal. Like, these guys are in pressure cooker situation. But I did ask. I was like, hey, me? Like, I was surprised because I kind of felt like on the stage, we all laughed. We had a great moment.
Right.
Like he said that Caps was an old man.
Yeah.
And Caps, he's like, yeah, I've been watching Caps since he was a kid. Caps like, you calling me old? Like, it was a perfect moment. We all laughed. That how anything you say could be taken at its most negative in the moment. And we all laughed and had a good moment. But then the problem is, and that's what I'm trying to bring out. This is some serious ass stuff that's about to go down, man. Serious. Somebody's whole season is going to be I'm not going to say it's over, but there's going to be an outcome that is very consequential, that is about to happen. And look, I don't even like to say the word lose, right? It's, someone's going to lose, man. Someone's going to lose. And that's going to put you back. Now we know Austin Prock lost second round. That was an opportunity for everybody, that race. We just didn't know it was going to be that. And that is what the countdown is about.
Did you move your phone away from the air conditioning vent?
You could hear that?
Yeah.
Dude, I got these Apple Bluetooth things going, man. You should.
I don't know, but it sounded like there was wind blowing. But yeah, you're right, man. Like I said to Elon at the beginning of the show, I go, Reading was crazy, and like Indy is usually like it's the Bataan Death March, right? You're just start and you go.
Jeez, really? The Bataan Death March of all the things to come up with? It's not that bad.
I didn't say Trail of Tears, Joe. Slow down.
The Bataan, come on, man. Like, first of all, your audience doesn't even know what that is.
And they don't know what the Trail of Tears is either.
It's really a bad analogy. Bad. Speaking of old references.
Yeah, totally old references. Anyways, it's a slog, right? I felt that Reading was worse than Indy this year. It was just, there was so much stuff going on. It was too much, man. Crashes, people down, we're down for crazy stuff.
House of Chaos.
Yeah. It was nuts.
Great. It's what people want. That's why it's a sold out crowd. Like, that's why you had not one available seat in the whole place.
Pre-race with big turnout. Always a big turnout there. We had a big
track walk in history, according to you.
Yep. According to me. I got booed mercifully. I mean, it was terrible.
Not mercifully. Mercilessly.
Yeah, merciless. They came at me, man. This guy, I was shooting t-shirts, and Courtney from the far end goes, "Hey, hit that guy with the tire." And I was trying to shoot a t-shirt in the tire. I might have shot 8 shirts at that guy's area. Didn't make it.
I appreciated it. The the Ahab like madness that took over you, trying to get it to that hoop.
And I literally, the last 2 shots, if the guy just lifted his arms up a little bit, it would have gone in. But then
he confessed. Yeah. I liked it. But when you're down there getting booed, I'm thinking to myself, this is hysterical, right? Like you became a heel in that moment. Like you were eliciting a negative reaction from people that booing. It was really fun for me.
Dude, the guy said, as I walked by, and it kind of calmed down, it got quiet. And this guy it was like Field of Dreams, or the Natural, when the lady in the Glenn Close stands up in the white dress. And that's all you see. All I hear is, "You suck." He didn't get the K all the way out before I said, "No, I don't, sir. I do not suck." And then all hell broke loose at that point.
I have a family.
Boo!
I'm a man.
You can't talk to me like that.
Dude, it was hot out there. It was hot. Like, that's the thing, is it was hot. It was humid, pressure packed, different things going on. I like to offer a little, I don't know if the word is grace, but to everybody for not being their perfect selves.
I don't know, man. But it was I was just beat down. Yesterday I was like
standing out there on that table. So Hagen, I liked what Hagen had to say. Like, I don't know about that. He's been making that opinion from jump. That's right. It's his core opinion. And so I wanted to add, though, since, of course, I'm an NHRA apologist, right? Nobody is trying to control what these people are saying.
Right. And
everyone is wondering, like Elon was on here wondering if Hagen was going to be forced to apologize. Nobody has been said nobody's mouth is being forced shut. No one's opinion is being suffocated, stifled. The NHRA, to my knowledge, is just letting it go. People are saying what they want to say. And I think that deserves a little acknowledgement. I mean, not necessarily the ways of the past.
I agree. Yeah, they and you know what? Give them just enough rope to hang themselves every once in a while, right?
Well, I don't know who's another. What's with you and the really extreme analogies? Hanging.
I don't know. hanging, Bataan, the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
It's getting ready for Halloween or something.
But the people's opinions, like Tony, like I love Elan's opinion about Tony and Brian, and there's a reason for it. Like our sport isn't big enough where we have a whole layer of punditry where people can give their opinions. Al Michaels isn't out there like giving all kinds of hardcore opinions, right? We don't have that many layers of media. Now that Life's a Drag exists, we have another, thank goodness. But so Tony and Brian have to do that job also. They've got to they've got to question because they can't allow it to everybody else because there is no everybody else. There's, a small but devoted, small but mighty media. But let's talk about steak, man. Willoughby's.
Fantastic. By the way, hold on. Let me back up a second. Oh, you had a little bit of my steak.
Yeah.
Because you showed up late.
Oh, it was great. Whatever you had was great. That was like a $50 steak, dude.
$55. Yeah, it was a U.S. Prime 16-ounce New York strip. But you showed up late, and I'm like, Joseph, didn't you know we were going to this? What was happening? And I was like, watch, Joe will come in, he'll get one drink, and he'll eat soup or a salad. And so sure enough, you walked in, and Josh started laughing. He's like, that's what Jason said you're going to eat. I was like, that's because you had already
walking in front of me, guys. Clay Milliken, I just missed. I was gonna, and then I decided again to just not scare the heck out of poor Clay.
Yeah, but that would have been cool.
I could have leaned on the horn man. He'd have been a hood ornament. He would have flown up to the roof.
That would have been cool to see him at the another celebrity sighting on Life's a Drag.
Life's a Drag. Clay Milliken prank.
Pranked. But yeah, that Willoughby steak was fantastic.
So I was hanging with Rob from Rob's Towing, who invited me down for a get together, which was actually like a multifaceted gathering. And I said I would come down, and I went down, and it was a tough night. We had a big oil down. We tore up a car. And so as soon as I could get out of there, I spent a little time, and then I came straight to you guys. But I had eaten a bunch. I would have had a steak too. But everyone, it's Pennsylvania. Everybody wants to feed you. Everybody's got food. There's good food everywhere. And that was like my third dinner of the night. And so I get to Willoughby's. I full on it. I had a lobster bisque, $11 lobster bisque in Reading. It was great. It was great. I enjoyed it. Like, I'm excited about next year. And then you cut me off a piece of your steak. Thank you very much. So I could experience it. It was great. And here's what I'm going to say. And I want you to build upon this. So for me, the best steak of the year is, and will continue to be, Peter Luger's in Vegas. Agree. But for the money, like pound for pound, dollar for dollar, this Willoughby's, that piece of meat was tremendous for $54.
And it was cooked. It was cooked perfectly.
Perfectly. I'm excited to go back. That's like a yearly tradition now, as far as Reading goes.
Yeah, Peter Luger definitely is the best steak we have out on the road. It's hands down. You're not going to beat it.
Well, maybe in the world. Maybe in the world. It's like in this.
I haven't tried them all.
Yeah,
but dude, they had it at this Willoughby's. They had an $84 6 to 7 ounce A5 Japanese Wagyu beef. Galvin almost shut the place down. He's like, "Get out of here! That would be $600 someplace else." He was almost going to buy that, but that place is so freaking good. Yep. I was blown away.
I enjoyed it greatly.
The bread service was perfect. Like the butter was salted perfectly, and it wasn't solid. It was like it was warmed up a little bit. It was perfect.
Diamond in the rough, and beautiful woodworking, millwork inside the steakhouse. You want the vibe when you go into a steakhouse. Freestanding building. It was tremendous as a one-off. It was on par or in excess of a Capitol Grill, but cheaper.
I agree with that. Ruth Chris, Capitol Grill. They have everything you could want. For the accoutrement.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. So that was it, Joe. I mean, anything else you want to talk about, that we didn't talk about that we didn't cover?
Not really. You talked about Erica and you talked about thing with Kalitta. You talked about the racing was really good, man. One of the best tracks on the tour, the House of K. The only negative that I can find is that there's no room to grow. There's no room to grow. It's max. It's a max event. Sold out nearly every day. Max event. Like for the Koretsky family, if you're going to like grow your business, I don't know how you do it because it's total 10 out of 10 already with the crowd and the way it goes. So that's a good problem to have. I just drove 13 hours from Miami area to South Carolina to pre-position Project Pontiac here for the Rockingham race in 4 weeks after the Stampede of Speed. And I was a little apprehensive about that. The longest I've ever driven with a race car by myself, and made it just fine. It was great. The roads of America are still intact, ladies and gentlemen. It was wonderful. And now I'm at the airport, got my rental car, getting ready to roll into ZMAX Dragway. And here we go, race number 2 of the countdown. So I am super excited to see where it goes.
Are you excited that we have 4 wide in the countdown?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I am not a 4 wide. It's a curiosity. And now that we know that this is the only time we're doing this, it makes it even more of a curiosity. It makes this interesting. I have strong opinions, but not about silly things like this. Bruton Smith had a vision, and he had the will and the wherewithal and the financial resources to make it real. What's more American than that, right? Somebody said, I'm a really tall building in New York. We're going to call it the Empire State Building. I'm sure there was somebody that was like, I don't like tall buildings. Tall buildings are dumb. Why can't we just have buildings that are 3 stories tall so I don't have to go up in one of those little boxes? There was definitely someone who hated the tall buildings, right? But they built skyscrapers, and now everything is tall, and tall is cool. So Bruton, he gave it a try. 4 wide. It's definitely a spectacle. Of course, we've got our fans that are like, oh, tall buildings are lame. The same version. They're traditional fans, whatever. But now we know what the schedule is next year. It's not back. We're not going 4 wide. This is a one-off, 4 wide in the playoffs. Let's enjoy it. Let's see what happens. Who's going to get tripped up? Who's the guy with his championship hopes on the line is going to screw up staging and forever wear that, thorny crown? How about that for a extreme analogy for the rest of his life? The reason you lost the championship is because you couldn't get staged on 4 wide. We'll see.
Stupid.
Well, right?
We know it won't be Langdon because he's already screwed that up multiple times. So Langdon, I think, has got it figured out. The staging in
it's about the moment, right? But yeah, Langdon's got everything figured out. That's the thing about Langdon. Langdon is that's one of Langdon's biggest problems is that everybody knows he's almost an inhuman machine out there.
Right.
He's a cyborg, a driving cyborg that just goes out there and executes at a high level every single time. It's like, there's never a question about John Langdon. And that's, how about Doug Kalitta? Like we were watching you and we're talking about it. Sue Morris, my friend, they're going to be running Super Gas this weekend, Dave and Sue. And we were listening to Life's a Drag while we drove to the airport. Really great. That I'm so proud of you guys and your show, and hopefully everyone will like and subscribe. But we did talk about that maybe not enough time was spent on Doug Kalitta rushing over to check on Tony Stewart in that moment.
Yeah,
and
no, you're right.
The humanity of that moment, these competitors, like that's what drag racing is. That's like we want to destroy each other on the track, but when something goes wrong, like the racers are there for each other. Like you can't even imagine. You know, in the NFL, you don't see players from the other team. They might come over and like look, but they're not going to come and like pick the guy up off the ground and like make sure he's okay. That's what drag racing is. And Doug Kalitta, if he didn't already have, everybody's respect, what a human moment by Doug.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, I'm totally getting off subject, but you're right. When you watch replays back, yeah, you can see it. I'm there in the moment. I can't see when the Jumbotron is a quarter mile away. You can't see anything, and you guys have the luxury of being in the booth and you've got a monitor right there. So
I actually ran upstairs. So I was in a similar situation. Yes, it's a very difficult deal. People are saying, why don't you put the Jumbotron closer? Because then it blocks the view of paying spectators. And so it's a challenge situation where to put the Jumbotron. But I couldn't see anything either. And so I went upstairs. I knew we were down for a while. I got to get close to a replay to see what happened. And, Galvin pretty much nailed it with the left tire and then wheel and then everything going away. And Doug, at that point along for the ride. But thank goodness everybody's okay. And I guess I want to say before I leave, I'm laughing at John Hall. Your question about everybody leaving him is hysterical.
It is. It's the funniest thing ever.
As someone that is, at the most basic of levels, I'm a racer. Started out bracket racing, and I aspire to race. I'm not a nitro racer, guys. I swear. Please don't be upset. I'm not trying to compare myself to what you guys do. I just enjoy the hobby and consider myself a racer at a much lower level that costs way less money and takes way less time. So just want to qualify that, Jason. So
okay, thank you.
Communications about me thinking I have status. But,
well, you have status in a different way.
Well, I don't want anyone thinking that I think I'm cool. I don't. But when I would go racing, every once in a while, you bring a friend or a family member to the track and you're proud of what you do. And it's not like football where everybody knows about it. You're proud of what you do. But when someone shows up to the track and you're doing well, and then they leave in the middle, it changes the energy. It's like we're all superstitious, man. It changes the energy. Like, what do you mean you're going to leave? What do you mean you're leaving? Right. And so I know that John Hall obviously has to have that. I think we all have that. Like your friends and family, like, yeah, we're out. Yeah. Well, you know what? Well,
when I heard that,
you're not going to win, right? Like, it's not like you're going to win. Like, if you could tell the person, yeah, I'm definitely going to win this event. 100%. They're not going to leave. They're going to stay. Yeah. Of course they want to stay. So if they leave, it's kind of a little bit of you're not going to win. It's like, probably not going to win. So hearing John Hall get amped when you asked that question, how everybody left, I related to it because I've had that happen countless times. My friends busting out. I remember one time, Morosa Motorsports Park, my friend Ant. Yeah, we're going to get out of here. Ant, it's the semi-freaking finals, man. We got 2 rounds to go. Yeah, I'm going to go. All right, goodbye. I ended up running out.
Yeah, no, well, when I heard that, I thought that was the funniest thing ever because, and honestly, I did not realize that John Hall was second in the points right now, tied with Gage. And I didn't realize that. I'm going,
well, so what happened?
Then everybody left?
What happens is we reset the points after the U.S. Nationals. And that
I get that. I get how it works. I just didn't know he was there, that high up. I knew he won Norwalk. I knew in this race. So
he's the Gage killer right now, or defeater. But we've got 4 riders within 10 points in Pro Stock Motorcycle. What's more interesting than that? And I guess the comment I want to make, because I did a pre-recorded show and we played the press conferences. It was the best I could do. I was up till midnight doing that before leaving at 3 a.m. to tow up here. But Sean Reed, like, we got to know him really well over the past month because he's not doing anything. He's hanging out with us. And, I hope he likes us as much as we like him. But even if he doesn't, that's his right to not. But it was really wonderful seeing him win. It was really great.
In his press conference thing, when he started counting, he had to take the mic and put it in the other hand. That was freaking funny to me.
Totally. It was very, we got a good thing going, man. We got a good thing going in the sport of drag racing. The biggest problem is that not enough people know right below the surface. Fast, loud cars. That's all they know.
Right.
Fast, loud cars. Look how fast they are. Wow, aren't they loud? That's it. Fast, loud cars. And getting to know the people and the stories and all of that it's our challenge. That's why I do my show. That's why you do your show. That's why all the shows are out there. We're trying really hard. Not everybody knows that these shows exist. They just, let's go see the fast, loud cars. I would love for the media, like these elements, to be put out there a little bit more. Obviously, marketing budget and whatnot is a challenge. But yeah, Sean, and it was just really good, man. It was a really good race. How about Blake Alexander going to the final round? Like, this guy has had 2 really good back-to-back races. Pro stock, it's going to be wild. Like, what Greg Anderson? How about Greg Anderson getting DQ'd? What the heck?
Yeah, that was nuts. I'm sitting right there, and he backed up. He almost ran the blower guy over. He backed up so fast.
I didn't know about that until someone else told me about that. I didn't see that. I was focused on something else. But yeah, that was an intense sequence.
And then when he reburnt out, that sounds terrible. His crew guy was out front. I thought the crew guy was going up on the hood. He was like, no. And I was like, dude, it was like Greg just blanked.
He said afterwards, and to his credit, any racer that thinks that any moment of disappointment that they have means that they cannot talk to the interviewer,
right,
should this moment because it's Greg didn't know the rule and he took himself out. How about Nikki? How about Nikki? Hear that? I'll honk at her. Hi, Nikki. You're on Jason Logan.
Hi, Nikki.
Streaming and everything. And they wanted me to honk at Clay, but I didn't want to do that to Clay, but I feel very empowered to do it to you. Yeah. So there you go. Look at that. You got your celebrity. See, it all works out for Life's a Drag, guys. But anyway, Greg got out of the car and he sucked it up and he told us the story. I didn't know the rule. Doesn't have radios in the car, doesn't have in-car communication. I wanted to scream at him, Jason. I wanted to yell. I was right across the Lexan from him. You couldn't be closer to Greg Anderson than me. And inside, I thought to myself, you can't cross the line. Like, I thought about it, and I'm not allowed to do that. That would have been me reaching into the sport and affecting the outcome somehow.
Right.
I'm not allowed to do that. I'm obligated to not do that. According to an agreement that I signed, I can't do that. And so I just hoping he's figuring out what they're saying. And
yeah,
he did not figure out what they're saying.
Yeah, he listen, that was
fender off. Let's see if he does it. No, okay, he didn't.
Who was that?
Just the guy taking the rental car next to me.
Oh. Yeah, no, that was very, 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 very interesting. I don't think he realized he crossed the center line the first time, and then they told him back up. Or starting line, sorry.
He says he didn't, but so obviously if you could go back, the first burnout wasn't bad. It was not like a normal burnout, but it was a little light.
Right.
Smoke came off the tires though, and he backs up all the way to the water, and now he got his tires wet again. Now he's obligated to do a second burnout. He pulls all the way forward, and I'm thinking he's going to go, second, third, fourth stop. Just heat him up. He goes forward, crosses the line. And to Galvin's credit, he was on it from the first second.
Yeah.
Okay, this could be a thing, and created a dramatic moment.
Well, again, that Kenny, the starter, was down there. He basically was telling him, "Hey, man, you can't cross the line." I'm standing right there, and he told the crew guys, and the crew guys were trying to yell at him. That was nuts. That was absolutely nuts.
And okay, so let's fast forward back to my question. Look, I understand that JR doesn't like me going negative, but it's not negative. It's reality, racing.
Right.
Somebody loses, somebody's dreams are dashed every round. And you've got to face it. You've got to face, this is where I'm coming from as a storyteller. You got to face that reality. In the Roman Empire, man, these were gladiators walking into the freaking arena, and each one of them knew that only one was walking out. We've evolved from that. We don't do that anymore. Now you just lose and your hopes are dashed, whatever. But I want to address that. I want to talk about it. I want people to understand that this is important. And so I bring up that topic, and apparently it's so taboo that someone might lose that it's too much. Like, I don't get that. I don't. That's why I guess I keep making the same mistake over and over with J.R. Todd. I keep making the same mistake by bringing up one of the potential outcomes of racing. Like, it's bad. But those points, we don't know how big a deal they're going to be. But if at the end of the season, Greg Anderson loses by less than 20 points, the world championship, and we're able to go back and look at that burnout and say that that's where 20 points was potentially lost, isn't that what this whole thing is about? And so it could end up being pretty big.
Yeah, listen, it's why we're all here doing this stuff. And your point about watching everybody's stuff. Yeah, watch it. I watched Power Hour last night. Competition Plus Power Hour. It's pretty good.
These guys do a good job.
Yeah, they got a different opinion. They got a different way to look at things.
Right, Duchesne and Morning Racer.
Yep.
Both have opinions that are different. We are on the inside, and we are exposed to a lot more information than some others. It's very nice to see, okay, the TV guys are here now. I could honk at them too.
Which one is it?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that to them. But there's got to be layers. Like, your local sports radio host has got a different take than the guy that works for the NFL.
Right.
And that's what's being created here. That's why I always, I feel like I've been very supportive of people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, because you've got to have different opinions. That way, that's where debate comes from. If everybody says, yeah, that's not good. Anyway, all right, I'm out, man. I think we've done a great job.
All right, very good. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta work tonight. I get to actually do my real job of DJing tonight, as opposed to driving a boat car. I did that last night. That was pretty fun.
Doing that, by the way, it's been a bit of, I haven't heard any boat car stories.
Listen, last night was there was supposed to be zero chance of rain, and all of a sudden the weather started building on top of us. And by I got there at 4:30. I did 4 rides. I made $35 in tips, which was awesome. We were on the way. We were doing our thing, and then all of a sudden 6:30 rolls around and it starts raining.
I like to think, and maybe it's not the case, but I like to think every once in a while I come up with a good idea. I like to be an idea guy, and I don't mind convertibles up. How about that? Convertibles up, Logan. You have the cars, you're still in the water. Convertibles are up. You're out there making the money. Isn't that what it's all about anyway? They don't care.
Yeah.
They just want to be in the water in a car.
That's it. They don't care. Listen, if it's raining, we will go. We will go out. But if it's lightning, we can't go.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's here for lighting. All right, I'm out. Bye.
All right, Joe. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
And please, the podcast for WFO is now up. I was unable to put the audio-only podcast for WFO up. So when you go back and check out the podcast, you can hear all of Sean Reed's press conference. Basically, Jason, I just posted the press conferences and linked them together.
By the way, super smart. That's on you. I like that.
They got something. Like, they got it. The audience has to get something from WFO every week. And if it couldn't be like a full show with unique one-on-one interviews, at very least, and kudos to NHRA for putting those out, by the way. Every radio station around the entire country has access to that. And anybody that wants to, media outlets.
Right.
Reference that stuff. You can see Sean and how emotional he was, and, the 4 thing. All right, I'm out.
So funny. All right, Joe. Drive safe to the hotel.
Kick me out.
Okay, fine. I'll kick you out. Bye, Joe. Bye, Joe. All right, guys. We went a little longer than we normally do, but that's okay. It's all content. It's all content. Yeah. And again, go around and look for all these other radio or podcasts we've got going on with your favorite sport. I know you love Joe and I know you love us, but yeah, I mean, Competition Plus has got theirs. Wes Buck's got his. You get to hear a lot of different opinions. So there you go. Again, hope you guys all had a great time today, and have a great rest of your week. If you're going to be in Charlotte, come say hi. We'll be out there. Feel free to say hello and shake our hands. I promise I will stop and say hello to you, and not just, I gotta go, because that's a false narrative. Like, don't suck. How dare you people say that? That's all right. Have your opinions. Do what you need to do. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I got to check in for a flight. I got to pack a bag, and I got to get out of here. Talk to you guys soon. See you later.
This is WFO Radio.